everyone, my name's Alex and welcome to my channel. So for my first video of 2021, I thought I would pick my TBR for January. So for the past couple of years, I've taken part in a reading challenge on Goodreads called Around the Year in 52 Books. And the idea of this challenge is that there are 52 prompts and you read a book for each prompt, so essentially a book a week. I've never completed the challenge, but I like taking part because I think it encourages me to read a little bit out of my comfort zone, which is always a good thing. It allows you to explore different genres that you may not normally read. Normally, when I take part in this challenge, I would pick all the books I plan to read in advance, and I just read it in order depending on availability in the library. But this year I thought I'd do something a little bit differently, where I pick the prompts from my little jar at the start of the month, and then I read a book for whatever prompt. I have already decided on 2 of my prompts for January, which I will explain in a moment, but I am going to pick another 3 prompts. So if I can get it out of the jar. So first prompt is prompt 47. I will explain in a moment what each prompt is. I don't have the sheet in front of me. My second one is prompt 25. And my third one for January is prompt 34. So I am going to just research what each prompt is and decide my books, and I'll be back in a moment. So I have done my research and I have picked out what books I'm going to read for January for each prompt, and I've also printed off this little, I guess, the reading list in a physical format, so I can tick it off as I go along, but also it's going to help me a lot during these videos. So first of all, I will talk about the 2 prompts that I chose already. The first one being prompt 48, which is, for that one I have to read a book that might cause someone to react, "You read what?" So there are lots of different ways that someone could have interpreted this. I've interpreted it as a book that would make someone go, "Why would you read that?" For that I have chose War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. The reason for that is because I actually found a subreddit earlier this year called A Year of War and Peace, where you read a chapter of War and Peace every day and it should take you right the way through the year. And when I told my family I wanted to do that, they were all like, "Why? It's such a long book." So that's why I'm going to do that. So the reason why I picked that prompt in advance is because it's going to be a year-long reading challenge. So it made sense to start that obviously in January. My next prompt is prompt 15, a book that features siblings as the main characters. So for that I am reading The Nightingale by Kristen Hannah. This is actually the January pick for a book club that I'm part of called the London Book Friends. So again, I pre-picked that prompt because the book fit with that prompt, and it made sense to use this book to tick a prompt off. So that's my plan with the book club for the entire year. Obviously it might get a little bit difficult as months go by and fitting it in, but if I can tick off as many prompts as I can without adding too much reading, because I never complete it anyway, that would be great. So I admittedly don't know much about this book. I know it's about 2 sisters who were separated and then come together during World War II. I am not a big fan of World War II or any of the World War historical fiction books, but it should be good because it's part of a book club, so I think that will encourage me to read it. But look at that cover, how gorgeous is that? I am absolutely in love with it. So I'm glad I picked up a physical copy of this. Right, so on to my other 3 prompts. So normally I wouldn't pick 5 books for a month. The only reason why I have done this month is because of War and Peace being a year-long prompt. So first up we've got Prompt 25, which is a book set on an island. So for that I will be reading Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book is half set in the Dominican Republic and the other half set in New York, so I guess it kind of counts. I was actually gifted this book last year and not gotten around to reading it yet, so I'm quite excited to read it. I again don't know much about it other than it's about two half-sisters who I guess they don't really know that each other exists until their father dies in a plane crash, so but it should be good. I've heard really good things about this one. The next prompt that I randomly picked was Prompt 34, which is a book with a travel theme. So for that I am reading Life of Pi by Jan Martel. This has been on my TBR for 4 years now, and I've not gotten around to reading it, so I'm excited for that. I've not watched the movie either, so I don't know much about it other than he's stranded on a ship with a tiger. So I guess it's kind of got a travel theme in that the boat would have been travelling somewhere, but yeah, I'm excited to read that one too. I have borrowed this one from the library, an ebook online using the Libby app, and I think that'll be my first book that I read just because I've only got it for 14 days, so I want to make sure I don't lose that. And then the final prompt, Prompt 47, is a book that is non-fiction other than a biography, autobiography or a memoir. So for that I am going to read I'm sure this is going to be a very boring book to many, but I'm really interested in it. Justice on Trial by Chris Dorr. So this was Chris Dorr, who's the author, was I don't know if he still is, he's a defence barrister, and this book is about the criminal justice system in the UK. And the solutions that he thinks can help fix it, because it's a pretty broken system. I was gifted this book last year because I work in the criminal justice system, so it'd be really interesting to read, I think. Not for most people, but what can I say, I do like things about criminal law. So yeah, so that's my 5 books that I'm going to be reading. Well, 4 books and a bit that I'll be reading in January, so hopefully I stick to it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think this is going to be a good way of picking my books, because normally I'd pick them in advance, but this at least allows a bit of flexibility, particularly when it comes to book club reads. And just in case I'm not in the mood for something, I can change it around, whereas before I always felt like I had to stay on my set pattern and it stressed me out trying to change it around. So yeah, we'll see.